looks like we're recording. So, welcome everyone to an Unlocking Fun back on Google Earth. This time, hi, you can see me, and I will be talking. So, to pick up where we left off, I'm going to talk a bit about the Hollow Earth entrances that are hidden on Google Earth. And I also want to talk about the ancient scars of Earth, because taking a look at this thing, I've been taking a look at this thing for quite a while, and I've been noticing what looks like a bunch of asteroid impacts, or meteor impacts, whatever. So, let's recap here. The Hollow Earth entrances are at the north and the south. And what I was trying to show you guys was the differences in what Google is telling you the north and south look like. So here's one image, and you slowly zoom in and you get another image right here, and you can see right in the center there where a bit of the entrance should be. There's a bunch of white area, like they didn't completely cut and paste very well. So let's zoom out and get the differences there. So Greenland moves quite a bit. The islands in Canada move quite a bit. The islands above Russia move a bit. And the whole area just gets a bit wider when you get closer. And there's another shift if you zoom in a bit more. There we go. Again, Greenland gets a little smaller. The islands, all the islands move, and then those white lines disappear. They get blended into the ocean. And also the ocean does a little twist thing. See that? And then I wanted to show you guys, because you can kind of get an approximate distance of how big Hollow Earth is by how bad they chop this thing up. So let's zoom out to this point. And it looks like the edges are from here to about here. So it's about 500 miles for the north entrance. Let's go down to the south and look at the comparisons. So that's the first image of Antarctica. So let's zoom in. There's a change. It was slight, but all the mountains in Antarctica move. What looks like the bottom part at this view right now moves quite a bit. It gets a little thicker everywhere else. And you can see in the middle, it's a little hard to see because it's far away, but there's a definite circle of cutting and pasting right here. And it's pretty big. And let's zoom in a bit more to see another change. All the mountains squish together. Let's see what happens up here. Not a whole lot. I was getting something different, I think. A little change happens. But obviously you take a look at the center of where the entrance should be, and they haven't done a good job cutting and pasting. There's a big white spot there. And you can see, of course, all of these different lines of cutting and pasting all around it. All these different shades of land jutting out of them just trying to cut and paste. And then I think in the previous one I was also showing you how they overlap If you ever played Halo, like Halo 3, you see that? You move a little bit and it starts twitching. If you played Halo 3 and you did Forge and you tried overlapping giant slabs of walls, they would do that. They would do this twitching, trying to fight for who's on top. And then let's zoom out. You can clearly see where this cutting and pasting kind of ends. And it's quite a big circle. Look at this. It's this whole thing. And the rest of it, they kind of blend together. They throw some mountains in there. But it's like a giant rainbow right here. It's like a light blended rainbow. So let's take one end and go to the other end. It's quite a bit bigger already. And it's to be expected, actually. So it's about 1,000 miles, a little over 1,000 miles, that they cut and pasted for the south entrance of Earth. So yeah, those are the north and south poles of Hollow Earth. And now I want to point out some scars that I've been noticing. Obviously, I want to look at the Pacific Ocean, because look at all of these just lines. They're like stretch marks. Okay? So, the first meteor that I think I noticed in the water is right here in the Gulf. And it looks like it hit right around here and dragged itself to about here. And why I think this is because everywhere else you see this edge here of where the continents pushed themselves apart. And then also most of the edges of the water will have, let's see, where is it? There it is. They'll have a similar structure to this, where it's kind of growing out of the water and it's kind of looks like a mountain range under the ocean. But up here in the north part of the Gulf, right here, it does not look like any mountain range. It looks like the land was boiled. And it goes all the way down to here. And then of course Mexico over here gets the brunt of it and gets a bunch of mountains. A big mountain range. Of course, this mountain range actually goes all the way up into Canada and Alaska, but it is more prevalent in Mexico, and the mountain range that goes all the way up through Canada and Alaska is also caused by this big push that happened of the continents separating here. When we look at the Atlantic, we can see where the separation happened. There's a clear line here of where the continents used to be. And they got separated from that point. And the other meteor I was looking at, you can kind of, I can see exactly what I'm looking at, because here is the end of it, and here's the tail. It's Hawaii. And the reason why I'm thinking this is because you take a look at Hawaii, and it looks like kind of the center of an asteroid strike. If you look at examples on the moon, that's kind of what it looks like. And you zoom out and take a look around it, you see all of these scars jutting out from it. like when it hit, it pulled the Earth's surface quite a bit and gave the Earth all of these stretch marks. And then this was interesting. Over here, near New Zealand, so you see this push that is going from here this way. And you go over here and there's a push from here going this way. So those are two different pushes that I just showed the example of. This push, this line here, coming from here going this way, I think came from the Hawaii meteor, and the other one was from when the continents shifted. There's quite a few things to go over with Earth. I could do a lot of videos about it because Earth is a big place. And the next meteor site I want to look at is right here. This looks like a definite giant meteor strike. Starting about here, dragging itself and burning hot to here, and pushing India and China up right along here, creating all of these mountains. And it creates a giant desert, a giant causeway of random lakes and smaller hills. It's quite amazing to see, really. So this is one of the first deserts that I think Earth has experienced. And of course you got this giant thing right here in Africa, but it does not look like any meteors hit Africa. It just looks like a giant bald patch of nuclear warfare. Like previous civilizations got really mad at the Egyptians and decided to wipe them out. And well, that's pretty much all I want to do for this video. In the next few videos, I want to talk about where is it? Wyoming, there you are. I want to talk about stuff like Devil's Tower here. This amazing monument, this national monument, and other plateaus and stuff like this in Utah and other parts of the world. I also want to talk about mountains, and a couple mountains I want to focus on. There's one near my home